Good morning. In 1954, Senator Joseph McCarthy was the chief counsel during the Army-McCarthy hearings in the U.S. Senate and was investigating in Hollywood and New York City theaters for suspecting communists who were directors, actors, actresses, and even playwrights. And if so they were, then they would be kicked out of their careers. Marvin Porter happened to be an uprising new playwright in Brooklyn. And unfortunately, he was one of those so-called communists. And Senator Joseph McCarthy and lawyer Roy Cohn kicked him out of his playwright career. Later on in his life, Roy Cohn happened to be Donald Trump's lawyer in the early 1980s. And Roy taught all of his tricks over to Trump. And Marvin Porter in 1963, he was in a small apartment, all alone, and having only one brother, and he hadn't spoken to his mother ever since Roy Cohn and Senator McCarthy kicked him out of being a playwright and ruined his life. Marvin enters carrying a basket of laundry and sees Sammy. Oh, the laundryman has arrived. Did you see George? Oh, look who is here. Sammy just brought you that beautiful plant on the piano. Don't you think it is lovely? Is something burning? Baxter jumps up. My toffee pudding! Baxter rushes to the kitchen. Marvin smiles when seeing Sammy. Back again, huh? Was Baxter beaten on your wall?
No, I brought you a gift because of last night. I've never done anything like that before, and I'm quite embarrassed for doing so. I'm very sorry. I made a fool of myself.
It's all right. I've had many embarrassing moments in my life, and they have a way of repeating.
Well, I certainly don't want to repeat that again.
Excuse me for a minute. I have to put my clothes away. He enters the bedroom.
Baxter, do you need any help?
It's a horrible mess, but I've got it under control, and most of it is on me. Oh. Sammy, can you see who is at the door?
I'm on my way.
Sammy opens the door and sees Siddy.
Hello, Mrs. Bloomfield.
Siddy is frozen and perplexed seeing Sammy. Is Marvin here?
Yes, he's in the bedroom putting his clothes away.
Are they on or off?
I would say neither.
It's me, Marvin. Did George tell you everything? Yes, I memorized every single detail he gave me. Marvin, do I have to talk to the door, dear? The door opens. He told me you're taking care of her, and if you need any help, you should come to me. Did I miss anything? Good. I do need help lifting her into her bed and bath. He didn't say anything about lifting her in the bathtub. George isn't the brightest bulb, but all you have to do is close your eyes. She's my mother! I don't want to be lifting my naked mother. I'll get you gloves if it makes you feel any better. Baxter enters the room. Siddy, I remember that voice, and how nice it is to see you again. Oh, I'm not exactly rolling on the floor. Don't get excited, it's only me. You look wonderful. Don't flatter me. If I was still a teenager, I'd ask you to take me out to lunch, but I'm not. and I can't even get a peanut butter sandwich nowadays. So Marvin, I need for you to help her out of George's car. And Baxter, can you give him a hand as long as you're here? I would be happy to, said he. She's in the car now? Yes. What do you expect? She's not in a horse and buggy. George can't do everything. Let's go, Baxter. I'll take her feet and you can take her arm. That sounds like a Thanksgiving turkey. How about my taking her wings? I'm not in a good mood. Let's just get this over with, okay? Lead the way, master. Marvin and Baxter exit, and Siddy begins to follow them, but stops and turns to Sammy. Are you just going to sit there?
Of course not. I was just drifting a bit.
What about?
I can't recall what I was thinking about. It's probably about the newness of being in America and the work I do.
What kind of work?
I wrote about it in your rental application.
The only thing I read on applications is the name, if they can pay the rent. Let's sit down while the men sweat and chat a bit. Shall we?
If you like.
I've been curious about what you do. You're a pretty young woman and a foreigner in Brooklyn. Let's get acquainted, okay?
Yes, that would be nice.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm an actress.
How about that? Really?
Yes, that's why I'm here in New York.
I once clapped thunder on the stage when I was younger than you.
Here in New York?
Yeah. When I was a young girl, I sat in Manhattan Nickelodeons watching actress Florence Lawrence performing in every Mack Sennett film I could afford to see.
When did you start acting?
Oh, I was a waitress at Katz's Delicatessen on the Lower East Side when my first opportunity hit me square in my face. A tall, slim, dapper man named Larry, sitting at the counter, handed me his business card. And he said to me, "You've got a pretty face, young lady. Have you ever considered entertaining on the big stage?" Oh, I was flattered and took the card, and he said, "Go to the backstage door and tell Benny that you want to see Mr. Riggin. He'll know what to do." I took his advice, and I caught a trolley, and I soon walked through a dark alley to the backstage door. Sure enough, Benny ushered me to the main stage. I was nervous and choking from cigar smoke when I heard a gruff voice in the back seat row. "All right, little lady, take your top off and show us why we should make you a star." Oh, that dirty putz, Larry. Forgot to mention that it was a burlesque theater.
Did you take it off?
Are you kidding? I can't look in the mirror after having a bath. Oh. The girls at the Cat's Deli gave me a few pointers of the art of auditioning. Patrice taught me the yees and yays of Shakespeare, and Marla had me speaking accents in Japanese, Russian, and a little Texas drawl. My neighbors pounded on my door, complaining I sounded like a zoo.
Then what did you do?
One afternoon at Katz, Clifford Audits and the funny little man Strasberg was sitting at a booth in my section. Audits said to me, "You'd be a perfect Edna." Stupid little me, who's here. Stupid little me said, "Who's her?" He says, "Edna, I'm writing a play and you would be perfect." I asked, "What is your play's name?" Strasberg says, "It's Waiting for Lepty." I asked, "It sounds stupid, but when can I audition?" Then Audit says, "I'm not finished writing yet, but talk with Lee and he'll fix you up with something other in the meantime."
Did you talk to Lee?
Yeah, and he put me in a play right away. And that was my humble beginning as an actress.
Were Audits in Strasbourg popular then?
What rock are you hiding under? They were two of the biggest names on Broadway.
Oh, I was only taught Shakespeare, Shaw, Coward, and O'Casey.
I know Shakespeare, but the other three bums I haven't a clue. By the way, I was the understudy of their new play, The House of Conley, in 1931 at the Martin Beck Theater, but not one single person ever saw me on the stage.
Why? Did the critics not like it?
No, the leading actress never got sick or had a broken foot, but I did got a few small parts here and there to keep me living. Then Mr. Ralph Blunfeld came into Ket's Deli and ordered a cup of coffee, and he looked up into my eyes.
Then what?
He asked me for a date, and 6 months later, on a chilly morning when we were standing on the Brooklyn Bridge watching the tugboats in the harbor, I whispered in Ralph's ear, "Congratulations, Mr. Blunfeld. You're soon to be a father."
No.
Yes, and when looking back, everything worked out just fine for us.
What a charming story, Siddy. But what happened?
And my only regret was not playing Lady Macbeth.
Oh, what a shame, but you would have been marvelous.
If you keep throwing adulations at me, you just might be my very best friend. Marvin enters. "You're needed, Siddy. George and Baxter want to bring my mother's last items to her home before it gets dark." Well, off I go then. "Sammy, let's do this again."
Yes, let's do.
Siddy stands up. "Did you have any kind words for your mother, Marvin?" "I was too busy." "Yes, as incorrigible as ever. And when will you ever grow up?" "Sammy, he could use a few lessons of kindness and manners. And Marvin, forget about spying. It's beneath your integrity, dear." Siddy exits and leaves Sammy alone with Marvin.
Well, I don't want to overdo my visit, and I know you must be busy with your work.
Sammy stands to leave. "Yes, as a matter of fact, I do."
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed talking with Baxter and Siddy. They're both quite charming, don't you think?
"I imagine so."
Well then, goodbye.
Sammy moves to the front door. "Thank you for the flowers." Sammy turns around, facing him.
You're welcome.
"I don't, always work all the time. Perhaps, would you like to talk sometime?"
Yes, I would.
"Good.
When?
How about tomorrow in the afternoon?"
I have a rehearsal throughout the day tomorrow.
Will you be free in the evening?
Yes, I am.
Maybe we can have a dinner together here?
A conversation over dinner is always my favorite thing of getting to know another person. Don't you agree?
Yes, yes. And what time would you like to come?
Well, would 6 o'clock do?
Oh, 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Playing my opera music quite loudly wasn't so bad after all, was it?
Yes, But my knocking on your wall was what brought you here. See you at 6 o'clock.
See you at 6 o'clock.
Sammy leaves with a smile as she exits. Marvin walks to the piano and picks up the flower pot, smelling the scent of the flowers as the lights slowly dim to black. Intermission.